Okay, stand by, everybody. I'm going to get my podcast going here. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to SportsSkope. I'm your host, Robert Butler, going over everything here. I am very excited. I like to tell everybody, you got some wonder why do you start the show early? Well, I had a long day at work. My prep work now is done before I walk in, so I like to get it done as soon as possible because I get worn out. Okay, I'm going to talk about what each team should do to win the Super Bowl. This Andrew Luck rumor that keeps going on. Talk about that, and not living life with regrets. Marty Schottenheimer is in hospice. And from Alzheimer's, a very sad situation, but that's a life lesson type of thing there. But first, before I get into everything, let me tell you about Alternite. Alternite is a nonprofit, 100% funded by Tolic Boards out of Brooklyn, New York area, receives support or partnered with the New York Ranger hockey team, former Ranger legends Mark Messier, Adam Graves, Ron Duguay, WFAN's Boomer Esiason, which is one of the most legendary, if the most legendary, local sports talk radio station in the entire country. These guys do humanitarian and educational services to underserved communities. For example, pay fees for youth to play sports, also provide equipment, and they provide help in the music and arts fields. For more information on how to donate or request help for a youth, please contact them at www.alternite.com. That is ALTRUNITE.com, or visit their Facebook page, the Alternite Facebook page, or you can call 917-775-4005. Alternite, good people doing a good thing. Now tell them Robert from SportsSkope sent you. Okay. A lot of this talk about Deshaun Watson coming up this past week. It just stays alive on and on. And I've gave you my take from a fan's perspective. I gave you my take from what the team should do. I've gave you every take except for what should I do if I'm Deshaun Watson. And I thought about that today while I was working, driving around in a pouring down rain here in Nashville, Tennessee today. And I thought to myself, okay, I've had some crappy jobs and crappy people I've worked for, and I kind of understand what it's like to work for a bad company. Now, the people I'm working with now, good folks, good company. So, I got to thinking about this, and you know what? If I am Deshaun Watson, I'm saying, okay, they got this new coach. He's supposed to be this super nice guy from Baltimore. He is 65 years old. He has not been a coordinator before. I get it. I totally get it. But what would it look like if I just set out? I'm still going to be working with the guys I like. He has good camaraderie. His numbers were great last year. So if I'm Watson, I'm also thinking about my future, my financial future, past football. And I looked at the numbers. They can find this guy his practically whole year's salary. I would simply go in, give it a try this 1 year, and get a feel for what they're going to do. Now, basically what I would do is I would save every single penny that I could. You guys know that Rob Gronkowski's playing in a Super Bowl, never spent any of his money that he's made from football. He's living off of total, endorsement checks. So I would save every penny. I'd give it this year. And then if it still looks bad, then I hold out. Because what you do is, say if they got a 5-11 record or 4-12 or whatever, again, if public relations looks good because you're saying, I gave the new coach a try. Don't like the direction of the organization, and I just don't want to play any more of my career here. Plus, they have a shot they'll probably have a top pick, and then they can have new picks by trading me to a team that I uplift my no trade clause for, right? So you still look good public relation wise, and you still saved about, after taxes, $10 million. You see what I'm saying? So it's that's the way I would play. I don't know if I would sit out this whole season. I just don't know if I would do that. You know, people saying that it's hard to recap money. Somebody that's been hard up for money. I just couldn't imagine doing that. This guy's got businesses and stuff. I just don't see it. I just don't. I know people's going to back him and everything, but I don't think that looks too good. Okay. So, other news. What else did I have out here on the horizon, my friends? Andrew Luck. I mean, there's some rumors about some girlfriends and friends of him coming back, and Jim Irsay shot him down today. That still doesn't mean that Luck is not going to is totally out on not coming back. But I will say this. Andrew Luck, what's he, 30, 32? And I think he's like 30 actually, because he's younger than Matt Stafford. You know, he is rested mentally and he's rested physically. And you got to look at it and say, okay, the camaraderie with with the players, but also look at what team they would have. Think about this for a second. They would be right there with Kansas City out of the AFC. Who would be better? Because this Ballard, this general manager, he has managed their cap so well that they have more money to bring in free agents. Now, they're going to have to pay a few guys this year. Leonard and Nelson, the great guard there, the linebacker, Leonard. So if you look at it from that perspective, you know, it's a great situation for him to go into. And the odds makers, in my opinion, they would be either favored to go to the Super Bowl or probably top 5. I would say behind maybe Kansas City, Buffalo. But look what they did to Buffalo. I mean, think about it this way. If Andrew Luck is the quarterback in that Buffalo game, don't you think the Colts are winning that game? You know, they may need a little help at corner. They could use another receiver. If T.Y. Hilton wants to come back for a modest salary, yeah, I would give him a modest mid-level pay at 30 years old. But they could probably do that in the draft, you know. Luck could come back and have a good career. So if it was me, I would probably try to come back because you can make a run. People forgive you. Michael Jordan did it. Things happen, you know. So Irsay's shooting it down, but I'm saying, hey, you know, it's something that he should really consider. You know, I like their running game. I like their offensive line. I like their defensive line. I like their secondary. I like the coaching. I like the general manager. The owner's a little nuts, but, you know, with Deshaun Watson possibly leaving, Tennessee with their issues on defense, you're rebuilding in Jacksonville. There would be favorites to win a division. And, you know, if you're winning division, you're in the playoffs, you have a shot. I think it's a really good thing for him to possibly consider. We'll see what happens. Just going through some of my notes, news and notes before I get into the Super Bowl breakdown. Okay. Justin Herbert wins Rookie of the Year. And this is something, Next Prophet, that if you are a fan of a bad team, Justin Herbert, by most people, me included, I thought he was going to be a total bust. And that just goes to show you that you can win. Yeah, I like the Chiefs. It's going to be a tough game. I'm going to break it all the way down here in a minute. I got a few other notes I want to talk about. But this idea that life is over with if you don't pay some quarterback some big bunch of money. Now, Carson Palmer said that he thinks Dak Prescott should take a discount because he's playing in the Dallas market. Now, look at who's in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady, $25 million. That's modest. There's guys making $35 to $40 million right now. Close to 40. Patrick Mahomes will make over 45. Okay? So it's a very modest contract Brady's got, and he's got a great team around him. Look at Breeze had a lot of money. Yeah. Now Breeze, I'll get to that in just a second. But you look at that what he's making. Patrick Mahomes is still on his rookie contract. Mahomes won the Super Bowl last year. He was on a rookie contract. Jimmy Garoppolo, like $24 million last year, still a very modest contract. These big high-dollar players, including Drew Brees, that team is $100 million over, don't win Super Bowls. And, so Dak should take less money. You could live, like I said earlier, Rob Gronkowski's a tight end. He don't even play for, quote-unquote, America's team. And he's still living off of his endorsement deals. If I'm Dak Prescott, you negotiate, $22 to $25 million contract, You see what I'm saying? Did you get VMNO? Yeah, you know what? I may try that. I may try that next profit. A friend of mine told me about that. I'm going to have to look that up. I will get back to you guys on that to contribute money and everything. But go to Alternite and make them a donation. ALTRUNITE, or call them next profit at 917-775-4005 and saying you're making a donation to their nonprofit and you saw them from Robert from SportsSkope. You know? Yeah, Patreon. Yeah, I tried them before. But anyways, so my thing about a guy like Drew Brees is, thank you, C. Swagler, is that's why he didn't win a lot of Super Bowls. I know you guys don't want to hear this. I want everybody to get paid. I understand getting paid. I worked my butt off today. I got soaking wet today. And I don't make a quarter of what these guys make. So, but, hey, buddy, you got it, man. Yeah, that'd be nice, man, I'll tell you. Or at least make a donation to Alternite and call them next profit. Tell them you sent in regards to Robert from SportsSkope. Man, I'd appreciate it, brother. God bless. So anyways, Brady, listen to this. I don't know if you know this, Pickles. From 2009 to 2019, Matt Stafford made more money from the Lions than Brady did from the New England Patriots. Now, Tom Brady's got his own brand. I got that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I appreciate that, brother. You've been there for day one, and I'll mention that. I've been working my butt off doing this, but it's something to think about. And you're in a salary cap business, and I'm so sick and tired of these get payers played guys that they say it's about the billionaires and all that. No, it's about salary caps are to keep the league even, guys. The salary caps, which the NFL is the best about, they are to keep regions of all regions of the country fully engaged. There was a period there where I just didn't watch a lot of baseball when the Yankees were really dominant. I'd watch when the Red Sox, that 2003, 2004 deal. But that's what the salary cap's for. And, these quarterbacks, and this guy, I was listening to him on, I think it was a Mac and Jack's show. You had a guy on from the New York Giants, and he was talking about that the Cowboys should pay Dak Prescott $30 to $40 million. Okay, But what Dak Prescott do when you was paying him $2 and $3 million and had a good team around him? So what makes you think he's going to take you farther in the playoffs once you make him more money and you got less pieces around him? So Kansas City here's the thing. That contract don't even kick in next year. Kansas City could make it back this year or next year. When you start, and I've been studying this, but when you start really looking at the contracts, the top quarterbacks in the league. Now, of course, Aaron Rodgers is an outlier. They've hit a lot of home runs in the draft. He's not in the Super Bowl, by the way. Aaron Rodgers has he's got the highest QBR in all of football, but he's got one Super Bowl ring to So, but I'm just gonna do a quick Google search. Highest paid NFL quarterback salaries, and you look at this, and this is off the cuff, but I've already looked at this. Russell Wilson, Carson Wentz. Hold on, here we go. I got to go to Spall Track. That's my guys here. But the guys that were the contracts picked for Russell Wilson, he's not in it. Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers, Carson Wentz. Dak is looking to come up. Matt Ryan. I mean, it's just, of course, Tannehill's in there, but his is made totally different. But you've got guys in here like Kirk Cousins. Do you think he's worth that much money? It's one of those things where you're paying a guy just because the market says he's a quarterback should get. You're the next guy up. In other words, you're not even that good, but they're paying him, and that's what I think is ridiculous about the league. Brady's worth $50 million. Andrew Luck was worth $50 million. Russell Wilson's worth a lot of money, but when you do that, you just can't get the. And here's the thing. And Carson Palmer got some criticism for this, but he did make a good point about Dak. If you're in that big Dallas market, just simply take the less money and win. And you're going to get car lots, pickles, clothing endorsements, men's grooming, shaving cream, you name it. This guy will get it. It's just food for thought. But I'll tell you what. You now that I've built my own brand, and it's slow, of course. I'm not in their level yet because I don't make that kind of money. But I understand in business, you got to think the long game. You can't think nearsighted. You got to think long game. I tell people all the time, the Amazon story. Amazon story is even better than I thought it was a week ago. I was reading about it. And Jeff Bezos said, listen, we might not make any money for 6 or 7 years. But if you guys hang in here with me with this online bookstore, I think this can really, really take off going into the future. We're talking 1994, just before Windows 95 came out, Pickles. And long story short, they went 9 years. Now, they started selling books. Everything was going pretty smooth, but they went 9 years without turning a profit till 2003. And then the rest is history. Amazon's taken over. These players have to look at themselves as an individual corporation. Take less money, get all the endorsements you can, keep winning. You're happier. I was listening to an interview with Stephon Diggs. He was happy as I've ever seen that guy, But I understand guys need to get paid and all that, but you got to think the long game. You got to think about it all the way through, and you got to think it like a general manager, like the owner, I understand the guaranteed contracts is I would say get as much guaranteed money as you can, but you don't want to break the bank. You know, when you win and you get those endorsements, it's free marketing. It's free advertisement. It's for your brand, you know. And I can't tell you guys how many endorsement deals Tom Brady's turned down. He turned down Oreos and Buick and all that stuff that Peyton Manning and of course, Tiger Woods did take. You see what I'm saying? And he's winning. He's in another Super Bowl. And he says he may even take less money next year. So I just think that was very interesting. Yeah, I think Dak should sign, but I think he should sign for about 22 to 25 million. He's already got a major a chunk of money because he signed the whatchamacallit last year. Right. Now, of course, Tom Brady's wife makes more than I get that, you know. But winning is everybody loves a winner, and it's easy to sell a winner. You know? It's easy to sell a winner. It's easy, like Michael Jordan said, you know, my shoes took off because I was winning, you know? Yeah, I mean, I love Dak. I want him back. I want him to be richer than what he is. If he's winning and he's in that big Dallas market, the sky's the limit outside of football. Don't you think Jerry Jones is going to give him some advice on how to invest his money right? He loves those guys. Look at all the former Cowboys. Even Jason Witten got a job broadcasting. Troy Aikman, Tony Romo, big job. Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, all those guys got jobs. Jerry Jones turned them right on to big jobs immediately. Daryl Moose Johnson, you guys remember him? He played the fullback. Whatever you're offered, he will give you anything you want as far as, you know, post-career opportunity. He's that kind of guy. That's why a lot of his players don't dock. Now, as us as fans of the league, he gets on my nerves sometimes when he wants to play general manager. It always gets on my nerves when owners do that. And I still think it was stupid of him for what he did with Jimmy Johnson. And he admitted it. He admitted he screwed up with the Jimmy Johnson situation. And I'm sure he's made a lot of money. But when you're winning big, when you're deep in the playoff game, when you're in the Super Bowls, Dallas can get to a Super Bowl if they make the right moves and he takes that less money. More opportunity is going to come your way. But if you're banking at $38 to $40 million, if you save that $15 million, that's one more receiver, that's one more defensive player. You know, that's just that's why Tom Brady's been that's part of it. You know, like I said, guys, I don't know if for those of you who just jumped on, Matt Stafford made more money in a 10-year period. Who's more miserable? Who's happy? Who looks 33 and who looks like he's older than me and he's 7 years younger? Matt Stafford looks older than me. Tom Brady looks my age or younger than me. You know, you say it's because he's happy, he's winning. Ask some of these players, guys, what it's like to be on a 4-12 team or 7-9 team every year. It sucks. You know, it really is bad. Winning or losing, you could be, you know, and the stuff with Aaron Rodgers, they just draft really well. If Aaron Rodgers took $14 million less a year, that guy would have 2 to 3 rings. We'll be discussing him as the GOAT. He would be on that many more commercials. And what if he wanted to start a little brand or whatever? They would start a brand. If he wanted to start his own football line because he could throw such a great football, he could do that. You get more exposure. That TV, that media is priceless, guys. That's the way the businesses think. You know? So anyways, a little food for thought there. Let's moving right along. I got all amped up and I'm 24 minutes in. I'm going to have to start my podcast over here. Okay. and continue going here. One more story wanted to talk about, and about regrets. Okay. Like I said, kudos to Justin Herbert there, winning Rookie of the Year. And that's another thing. If Dallas wanted to try to draft a player, everybody thought Justin Herbert was going to be a bust, including me. Justin Herbert's probably going to be a star, So I wouldn't be too worried about, if you're Houston, moving on from Dak and taking a chance, I like Justin Herbert. Okay, other stories. Okay, a sad note here. Marty Schottenheimer, talked about him the other day. He's in hospice care. He's got Alzheimer's. He's in really bad shape. Former coach for the Browns. Swagler, I know you. Pickles, I know you know him. What else did he do? They coached that 2006 Charger team. Coach Kansas City, one of the best regular season coaches in the history of the game. And he's in hospice care. He's basically on his deathbed. Thoughts and prayers with him. His son used to, he just got fired as an offensive coordinator for Seattle, but now he's rebounding. He's like a passing coordinator with Jacksonville with Urban Meyer. And I remember the backstory for the 2006 divisional round game between a 14-2 Charger team and the New England Patriots. And the big knock on Marty was Marty Ball. Marty Ball in the playoffs was run the ball, punt some more, play. His whole philosophy, in which it's true, don't make a mistake, play careful, and your opponent will make mistakes and you'll win. Don't make a mistake. He was really irritated when Breeze came in because Breeze was throwing a lot of interceptions. But that school of thought really hurt him in the playoffs. Lost a lot of bad games and in the playoffs, because he was too conservative. Called it Marty Ball, right? You remember he coached the Browns when Elway beat him with the drive. Was that 87, Pickles? And so he comes into this game against the Patriots. He got so tired of hearing that. He had a 14-2, LaDainian Tomlinson, Antonio Gates. I was just talking about Phillip Rivers was in that game, right? So he comes into this game and he says, I'm going to prove those guys wrong. We're going to throw that ball all over the place. And they did, and they lost the game. You can't do that. So my thing is, he regretted taking chances. He regretted, I bet Marty Schottenheimer regretted evolving when he saw the passing game develop. I bet he regretted changing his philosophy. So in life, evolve. Don't be afraid of change. And don't leave anything on the field of life. If you're doing something, don't live life in regret. Look at Nick Saban. By the way, National Signing Day, the official National Signing Day, #1 class. Some are saying it's his best class ever. We talked about this before. He's evolved. He's more of a passing, offensive-oriented coach. He's still got a good defense, but he doesn't just lean totally on the run. He's evolved. He's a guy that can rest easy at night. He doesn't have regrets. Don't be timid in life. Take chances. Don't be afraid to lose. The Chargers, and that's the thing about Marty. He was too conservative, and I'm sure he regrets that. Jeff Fisher, he was doing a long interview with Clay Travis here at Nashville. He wanted that UT job. He can't get back in the NFL because he's got too conservative. The game passed him up. He didn't evolve. Now he's talking about he wants to evolve and get back into coaching. I hope he does. He seems like a nice guy, good community guy. He still lives here in the Nashville area, does a celebrity golf tournament for charity or whatever. But don't live life. Don't leave it on the field. If you're thinking about doing something, starting a business, don't be timid. Do what you really want to do in life, and don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to grow. Don't be afraid to evolve. Look at these two coaches here. Bruce Arians in the Super Bowl wanted to throw deep. he kind of said, you know what? Let's play to this guy's strengths. Let's play to Tom's strengths, and let's bring this in a little bit. Let's play more to what we think we can win with him, you know? And look, that's what they started doing. A lot more shorter passes, a lot more checkdowns. Now, Tom Brady got a little bit crazy there in that NFC Championship game and almost didn't and almost blew it, but he didn't, though, you know? But Arians was stubborn at first, but he said, you know what? Let me evolve a little bit. So anyways, let's talk about this. All right, Super Bowl. The talk of the last few days was this barbershop story, and it looked like some guy with the jacked up haircut for the Kansas City Chiefs, I think Paul Kilmore or whatever, and Demarius Robertson, they got on some kind of list because the barbers tested positive, but apparently everything's going to be okay. These guys are going to play. And the weather over the last 24 hours for a Super Bowl has been a question. Now, Sunday, and it's still the same. It's changed this morning. The weather in the Super Bowl now says it's going to storm in the morning, and then it's going to be clear and about 65 degrees around 6:30, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, kickoff time, okay? So that's not going to be an issue. Another big issue. Okay, Cameron Brate looks like he had a little bit of a back issue, but they're saying he's going to be fine. Sounds like a back spasm type of deal. May have had a hard practice Wednesday, and he went limited today, but he's going to be okay. Antonio Brown, full practice today. So it looks like they're going to have Antonio Brown, Tampa, and looks like Cameron Brate's going to be okay. No real injuries for Kansas City. Other than the two players that got hurt in the AFC Championship game, which was Schwartz, the right tackle, and, of course, Eric Fisher, the key left tackle. That is major concern. I've been reading about crazy bets. Some mattress guy bet $2 million on Tampa, and some other guy bet $2 million last week on Tampa. Now, my thing is Tampa Bay, you got to look and see, okay, have these teams played before? Check, okay? All right? You got to break this whole thing down before we get into that. Okay, let's start with the coaching staff. Who's got the better coach? Is it Bruce Arians or is it Andy Reid? Well, Andy Reid's won a Super Bowl. Check. Who's got I don't really count offensive coordinators because both of the coaches like to call the plays. And so I'll call that a push, okay? Defense, the other side of the ball. Who do you like better, Todd Bowles or Steve Spagnuolo, who's beaten Brady twice, once in the Super Bowl? Todd Bowles coached a good game in the NFC Championship, multiple turnovers. Got 3 turnovers in the divisional game in the NFC. But you got to go with Spagnuolo from Kansas City, okay? Both rosters. Now, defensively, you got to say Tampa, they probably got more talent on the defensive side, but they don't have the balance on defense that Kansas City does. Kansas City's got a better secondary. And remember, Kansas City has they're not as good against the run, but they're pretty equal on pass rush, you know. They are pretty equal. I mean, you got guys like Derek, Noddy, Frank Clark, you know, Chris Jones, Daniel Sorensen at free safety, and, of course, Tyrann Mathieu, who's playing out of his mind right now. He's playing like an all-pro. And one of the safeties, they may have both safeties down for Tampa, but I know one of their starters is probably not going to play. So that's my thing. So I think they're going to be down a safety. Now, they got Vita, and, you know, let me go back to see what they've got on who is it? Shaq Barrett, Vita, and I'm trying to see if I can find. Okay, Dominican Sue, William Golston, Jason Pierre-Paul, linebackers, Devin White, Levante David, Shaq Barrett. They're stacked on that front seven and linebacker. So you got to give them the edge there. Cornerback-wise, you give it to Kansas City. Just secondary, period. So, and I mentioned this Tuesday in a tease. Okay, they played at home, Tampa, against a stick man compared to Patrick Mahomes and a guy who's just traded, Jared Goff. They played them on Monday night. The left tackle was injured. The starting left tackle, Wentworth, was injured prior to that game. Remember, he got hurt in the Sunday game before that, the Seattle game. Wentworth got hurt for the Rams. The Rams go to Tampa, and they beat Tampa. And Robert Woods, double-digit catches. Cooper Kupp, double-digit catches. So that's something to think about, all right? And I listened today, and Greg Cosell from NFL Films was on the Colin Cowherd show, and he says Todd Bowles doubled on third down. He doubled Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, and they still put 274 from Tyreek Hill alone. And I thought that's not good for Tampa if they're still doubling them. So now he's definitely not going to have to blitz now with those two. Remember Siason said that what Andy Reid will do, he'll probably put a fifth offensive lineman in there. They're going to take out a receiver, and they'll probably put a fifth one in there, and they'll do it that way. So if I'm Kansas City, that's what I do. But this is the key to winning. If you're Kansas City, you're going to have to get a player not named Travis Kelce or Tyreek Hill to go across the middle and make the catches that those two guys can't make. I would line up Kelce wide so I can get those linebackers out of the way of the zone, and I would respect the heck out of this pass rush because you got two tackles down, and everything would be in the middle of the field, and it wouldn't be to Kelce or to Hill. It would be to Robertson, or it could be to Miko Hartman, the other speedster. Miko Hartman could very well be the MVP in this game. And everything would be about 3.5 seconds. And if I'm Andy Reid, I tell, or the quarterback coach, I bring Patrick Mahomes to the side and I say, listen, we can beat these guys because, they got 2 interceptions against Brady last time. You're going to have to throw the ball away more now than you have before in the past, okay? Don't try to make a play. Don't turn the ball over. Just throw it away. Now, for the fourth quarter, it's different. But throughout the game, leading up to the fourth quarter, I would tell him, if you got to throw it away, punt, we'll throw it away, punt. I will adjust our offense so we can get our playmakers the ball in space, And you're not going to be able to run on this team. I said that against Green Bay, and they didn't. They didn't have much success. I would do those type of plays across the middle, and I would do delayed handoffs to the outside around the sideline, and they're great at that, by the way. You want to call it a run pass option, but I wouldn't have Mahomes running. I wouldn't have Malone. Yeah, something like that. Kansas City last year, I can't remember that score, but I was 27-24, the regular season game. So I would get guys like Tyreek Hill and Miko Hartman would be in the backfield and delayed handoffs, and you get that speed to the outside, and then you play it like that. Now, if I'm Todd Bowles, I would probably do a similar game plan, but I knew it wouldn't have to, a blitz. I continue to run a rush 4, and I would continue to double Kelce. Kelce and Hill wouldn't beat me. And then I may slip in a blitz or a stunt, something like that. But if you're Kansas City, your defense is good too. Kansas City's defense is way much better than people's giving it credit for. Ask Buffalo. Look how hot they were. They were stuck on 9 points forever until Kansas City went to a prevent. And they got that one touchdown because Hartman dropped the kickoff, and they got a short field. So their defense is way much better than people give them credit for because their offense is so good. So that's what I would do. As far as Tampa, offensively, okay, you got Leonard Fournette. Cameron Brate would be a big play. He'd be a big factor in this game. He would 8 to 10 targets. He's quicker than Gronk. They're weak against the tight end. You saw what Dawson Knox did against them. Mark Andrews, if he had a better quarterback on him, I think oh wait, no, never mind. Wrong team. But you saw what Dawson Knox from Buffalo did against Kansas City, and you saw the tight ends, the multiple tight ends that Cleveland used, had a good game. Cameron Brate would get a lot of targets with Godwin because he's not the number one receiver. Dorson, or what is it, Breeden or whatever his name is, that corner's really good. You want to throw on his side. In other words, Mike Evans, he did get 3 catches, 50 yards, and 2 touchdowns, but he missed about 4, 5 balls because their cornerback is really good. Their number one is good. So I would use those guys and tell Brady everything Brady does, if you want Tampa to win, has got to be 25 yards in, no deep threats. Brady, that's when he turns the ball over, when he forces it downfield to a Mike Evans, when he's throwing short, when he forces it downfield to a Godwin or Antonio Brown's full practice today. Those deep seam routes that he likes to do, I wouldn't do that. I would tell Brady, not unless it's a busted play or you get a guy on a hard count or Kansas City's got 12 men on the field. But Spagnato's defenses are very disciplined, see? That's why I like Kansas City to win this game. So I'm thinking it's 30-27, Kansas City. That's what I'm predicting because you look at, I'll say this, if those two tackles were out, say before the playoffs started and they got here then, I think that I would pick Tampa because they would have film on the blocking scheme that Andy Reid's going to put out. Look how Jared Goff fell apart a few games into life without his left tackle. What's the guy? Andrew Whitworth. Just look how now he's been traded. A lot of that was because Whitworth was out. The first game was okay because the blocking scheme for the defense, Tampa wasn't sure what they were looking at. And that's the same thing. You're giving Andy Reid 2 weeks to prepare. And you guys got to think about it. What Kansas City does a lot is very quick anyways, and it's behind the line of scrimmage. He brings a lot of jet sweeps. He brings a lot of motion to his offense between Mecole Hardman and Tyreek Hill, and even a Clyde Edwards-Helaire who looks to be pretty close to 100%, by the way. They give the ball to Kels out of the backfield. They're not going to run anything. It's a constant motion. So they're going to utilize it's hard to get just to line up and get a straight line rush against the quarterback because that Kansas City motion keeps these guys not running downhill. They're running side to side, and all their plays are about 2.5 seconds. If you look at how fast that Holmes gets rid of the ball. Now, sometimes the pass rush gets to him. He has to duck and dodge like he did in that Saints game. But if I'm Andy Reid, I'll tell him, just throw that ball away, man. Throw that ball away. Now, of course, could this go the other way if they get too cute and they try to run one of those reverses or end the rounds, and it's fumbled, and the Vita jumps on it, and you got a Shaq Barrett on it, and you're inside the 10-yard line, and Brady's got he's got a short zone there, he's got a short field there, and you're down by 10, you're down by 14, and now you got the defense teeing off on him. Yeah, it could go the other way, but I'm saying my prediction is 30-27, Kansas City. Like I said, weather's not going to be a factor. They're going to have Robertson back, and you got to look at this defense. This defense is being overlooked. Kansas City, Steve Spagnuolo. I think they will play a cleaner game. I do not think that Mahomes is 100% from that turf toe, so he's actually going to play smarter. He played a better game in that Buffalo game because he didn't run as much because that turf toe was still bothering. Now, Brady, and if you're Kansas City, if you're a Tampa fan, Brady's never going to be rattled. Brady is never going to give up. You're going to have to fight him to the very end. He's going to lift the confidence of that team. They're always going to have a chance. He's got the firepower to it. If I'm Arians, I tell him just play your game all the way up to the end. Don't force anything downfield, even if we're down by 10 in the fourth quarter, because we got to play making defense. These linebackers could turn this game around in one play. If that's what, and Brady's got that kind of discipline. He's won most of his Super Bowls. 5 out of the 6, he's won by 3 points. He's used to playing tight games. And Patrick Mahomes is more comfortable being down than he is up. He was down 24 points and down 9 this past year in the playoffs. So that's what's going to make this an intriguing Super Bowl to watch. Both quarterbacks, if you get them down, they just shake it off, especially Brady. He's a legend. So, but if you look at the speed of this Kansas City defense and you look at the back end, I just think they're going to be too much. Their defense is being way, way overlooked. The kicker's good. Now, of course, Tampa's got a good kicker and Ryan Suckup. So this is going to be, like I said, 30-27. I'll go out on the limb and I'll say the MVP will be Mecole Hardman. I think that Tyreek Hill will they're going to double him and triple him. The most important person playing would be it's going to be Patrick Mahomes, of course. He can win it or lose it. On the other end, it's got to be the defense of Tampa. It's him versus the Tampa defense. So, but my Super Bowl MVP, I'm gonna say Mecole Hardman. I'll say he catches an end around. He runs an end around and he catches one because you can beat them with speed on the outside. Look what Valdez-Scantling did against Tampa. So keep that in mind. It's going to be dry. It's going to rain early, and it's going to be a dry track. So it could go the other way, of course. It could. If it goes the other way and there's turnovers and you got Fournette running the ball well and you got Brady using these underneath plays like he's mastered, yeah, it could go the other way. But that's why I say it could be a 3-point game. I think it's properly the point spread is done. The difference is properly done. Think about it. This game is being played in Tampa, and they're still 3.5-point underdogs. The coaching edge, you got to give it to Andy Reid, and I got to give it to the defensive coordinator, who has beat the kickers. Yeah, probably Buckner. But you know what? Ryan Suckup never missed a kick for Tennessee. I could give it to Tampa. They're both healthy and playing well. Offensive weapons as a whole, maybe Tampa as well. But the best player on the field is Patrick Mahomes. The best athlete on the field is Tyreek Hill. You know, the best overall defense is probably Kansas City because they don't have a glaring weakness. Now, Tampa has a glaring weakness in the secondary. So, yeah, Tampa Bay. You give the special teams to Mecole Hardman and Tyreek Hill running kickbacks. You know, So I think Miko Hartman wins it. Going out on the limb, I'm tired of everybody else says Patrick Mahomes, whatever. It could be Tyreek Hill. He put 270 yards on these guys last time. He's going to have a good game, but Hartman's got his speed, and he's not going to get his coverage. If it was me, I would target the heck out of Miko Hartman if I'm Andy Reid in this offense and Patrick Mahomes. So that's what I think about that. You know what? I wanted to talk about another thing before I get off here, everybody. Lamar Odom, Pickles, the former basketball player. God, I'm going to have to start over again, everybody. He's going to do a celebrity boxing match against, what's this guy's name? Carter. Yeah, he's still living. I forgot that. Was it Lance Carter? It's one of these guys from Aaron Carter. Aaron Carter, I think he's a singer or some pop singer. But this guy, this Aaron Paul, is it and Nate Robertson fight, with the Mike Tyson setup fight, this exhibition. I always get that word mixed up. But between Tyson and Nate Robertson, or Tyson and Roy Jones and Nate Robertson, and was it Logan Paul? These guys got, now they're apparently Paul's paid $600, but the pay-per-views he made like $10 million. And of course, Tyson, Roy Jones, the figures around $20 million apiece. The fight, everybody. I was looking at the pay-per-views. I don't know if anybody looked back at that. But it was 1.6 million pay-per-views at $49 a piece. And I thought to myself, you know what? I need to get out of my carrier job. I like the guys. I was, so $50, 1.6 million. You do the math. It's like $79 million that they made from the fight. You got to pay promotion and all that crap. Tyson gets close to 20. Roy Jones gets close to 20. These other guys can get around $10 million. That is crazy. It's good money for, 6 rounds. But I was thinking, to get out of my job, I would wear the face gear and get in the boxing ring with somebody. I would do the training and do it. I mean, if you're a celebrity, you're out of money, get in touch with Tyson and go fight another celebrity. YouTube star. And this guy's got a brother named Paul, too. They're supposed to fight Mayweather. He's a YouTube star. So, he's kind of a cocky kid. I know. But I had to admire him. Now, to fight Tyson, you have to raise the number up to about 10 million. To fight Tyson, I might get in the ring with him for 10, but I'll probably do a lot of running. I know how to study a guy like Tyson. You want to wear Tyson out. You want him to swing. But I'm not a heavyweight, so it wouldn't be proper. The Mayweather, I'd do it with Mayweather. I'd even fight that other guy. The UFC fighter runs his mouth. I'd fight him. But if I need the money to get out of this job, of course, stick and move. You're going to be sore for a few days. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah. Conor McGregor. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, I would probably do it with Conor. But you know what? Conor conned us all into the Mayweather fight. He made a fortune. Conor was on food stamps at one time. And now he's sleeping on silk sheets, like Hitman Herm said. So, I'm okay. If I'm a washed up celebrity, I would probably do something like that. Now, Mayweather is got the money, but Mayweather is going to eventually, Father Time's undefeated. He's going to need the money because he's a big spender. Somebody's going to catch Mayweather right, and they're going to knock him out. But that being said, I admire the guy for his defense ability. So I just thought that was pretty cool. I actually hope Lamar Odom gets it back together. I don't care who wins. I just want the guys to make money because I think it's an interesting venture that people like to see people fight. And speaking of big fighters, Tyson Fury, I think he's going to fight Joseph. I know he's got the Wilder rematch between the Wilder rematch and the Anthony Joseph fight, Pickles. I'm going to order both of them. I ordered that first Wilder fight. Fury beats him in like the 7th round or something. And then he sings American Pie. I've still got it recorded. That was this time last year. That's a good fight. They both made a lot of money. It's fun. Boxing. Yeah, that right there. Now, yeah, the Bernie and Sid show. Yeah, Fury and Lennox Lewis would have been great. Yeah, I made $100. I was living in New York City. I told my friends up there, I said, guys, I love Mike just like you do. I'm a short guy. I'm 5'8", 5'9". I like the smaller fighters. I love watching Mike Tyson beat up on guys back in the early 90s like Razor Ruddock and everybody. And I said, but listen, this guy is tall. He's got the reach. This Lennox Lewis guy in 2002, I said, you guys want to lose some money? I'll bet you $100 that Lennox Lewis will win this fight. And those were big New York locals. They were like, nah, man, you crazy. I said, okay, put it up. We put it up. Boom. I won it. Had a great day that day. Worked security at the horse race that day. And Tyson lost because Lewis is taller. Tyson was not with his good trainers then. And he was with, what's that guy's name? Don King and his guys. He was not quite as tight as he was with Gus D'Amato's trainers, with those guys in the late 80s and early 90s. And Tyson later admitted it. Even Holyfield says, yeah, you used to be a better boy. Now they're talking about him and Holyfield fighting again, which would be great. I mean, 56-year-old guy and a 60-year-old guy. He was more tactful when he was with those other trainers. But when he got with Don King's guys, he wasn't that good. But and he's always had trouble with taller fighters. But like I said, when he was younger, he was more tactical. He was more patient. He was a better fighter. He wasn't a puncher. He was actually playing the win. And quite frankly, I don't know if you guys know this, Tyson Fury was born in 88, and his dad named him after his favorite boxer, Mike Tyson. So, and now this guy's a heavyweight champion of the world. So you never know who you're having influence on in life. So anyways, everybody, Northeast Streaming Sports, you can catch me on there. Check me out on YouTube and all their shows on there. I'm on the Mac and Jack show, Northeast Streaming Sports. Check out our YouTube channel. I will be on there 8 a.m. Central Time. We'll be talking the Super Bowl and everything. I appreciate you guys supporting me tonight. And Next Profit, yeah, if you want to help me out, donate some money to Alternate and said you found out you want to help out Robert from SportsSkope. And I love those back. And by the way, Jack's he's a Hall of Fame sports writer. These guys got a lot of credibility. So, guys, have a good night. Thank you for talking to me and everything on here. I was very tired. Rough day here in Nashville. It was raining all day. I had to drive in it for 12 hours. But once I get talking to you guys, I have a lot of fun. So, have a good night, everybody. You can find me on Spotify. Facebook here, of course, SportsSkope. You can Google the word sports and scope together and find the show there. So I will see you Tuesday. We'll talk about the Super Bowl breakdown and all that good stuff when sports shows come on around 9 p.m. Central Time. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you, StreamYard.